In the bottom left starting location in the red, he is our Zerg player, soO. I confess to you something I almost said in Ragnarok because this is going so fast.
So quick, Tasteless. But his opponent over here in the middle of the map.
Spotting the center of the map.
It's ByuN. Going for proxy Reapers here in game 2. Playing a more macro-oriented, really unique timing push style in the first game, which is what he was known for even back in Wings of Liberty when he was making consistent round of 4s. He was playing long games too, and half of his games, like half his games were all-ins or timing pushes. The other half were, like you said, were record-long games. Very famous for that.
This is how you do it, boys and girls. This is how you win a best of 3. And then when you take men, they go, you don't even play the game right. You go, shut up, man, you lost.
You know, this is, those of you guys always wondering, oh, why is there no stream for the qualifiers? What are the qualifiers really like? We don't really know, we just see the results. Sometimes the qualifiers look like this. You know what the maps are, you play a best of 3, you move on or you lose, and you see like a series of games played in that day. A best of 3 often looks just like this. You have an aggressive all-in, then maybe a second one like in the previous series, or you play one normal game and then suddenly you pull on a super aggressive move while the other player is trying to kind of recover from what happened in the first game. Now, this is not going to be an all-in, it's just one proxy barrack, so it's an aggressive Reaper, but he's expanding behind this.
Yeah, initially when we saw that barracks, I thought, oh man, he's going to do the really aggressive build that we have seen some Terrans do with the double Reaper. But this can really put Zerg in an odd spot. Already, so you're thinking, oh man, there's a Reaper in here. This is way too early. Bouncing the drones off the gas, very nicely done.
And you know, this may cause soO to overreact. He might actually think more Reapers are coming than they actually are. He's adding those queens now, but the second Reaper hasn't appeared, and I think soO is starting to realize, okay, this is definitely just one Rax Reaper. He's going to kill a few Links here, actually. You can't be losing those.
There are some great follow-ups Terran can do here, especially involving drops.
Absolutely.
And this is more of an extreme version of the build that we saw in game number 1. In game number 1, it was just one Reaper, and then he kind of positions the Zerg in a certain way in text. But it looks like with the factory coming this quickly, he definitely has more plans this game.
All right, now let's see if ByuN can keep that second Reaper alive. Playing very, very dangerously with it, but will escape. Third CC on the way with that factory. I think we are going to see a drop follow-up. Needs to actually make that into an orbital, but there he goes. But, you know, I feel like soO is somewhat on the defense here, but is now starting to realize, okay, I just need to power up my drones. I can deal with these 2 Reapers now with queens alone. Barracks is back home.
Yeah, nice position there for the Barracks. Floats that back home immediately. And let's see where ByuN takes this game. Now, soO, I would say it's the most well-rounded Zerg that's here.
Yeah,
amongst all the Zergs that are here now. So he's definitely somebody who's pretty crafty. He's definitely somebody who knows how to recuperate. ByuN definitely overstaying his welcome there.
Yeah,
Ling speed was inevitable.
Yeah, he looks pretty frustrated there. Looks like he was just looking at something else when the Ling attack occurred. He still almost saved one Reaper, but not good enough. Now, this Overlord does scout very important, this tech lab on the barracks.
Let me tell you something, man. Just a small thing to point out, but it may be a bigger deal later. Having a tech lab in the corner of your base like that, if Zerg techs to mutas, that's going to be picked off.
Yeah. And we may see that as the lair is already halfway along.
The upgrades from the tech lab, pretty good, Wolfie.
It certainly is. Now, the Liberator coming out here is going to be able to push the Overlords back, but notice one thing. He still hasn't started Stim, and that tech lab was scouted. This may be to throw the Zerg off, but based on the fact he's adding 2 additional barracks, it looks like he wants to start Stim.
I think he's going to start Stim.
He just needs to do it. He has not yet done it, and that's starting to become concerning.
Huh.
He still hasn't got that going. He has enough money for it.
He is getting these Liberators that are coming up here now.
There it goes. I feel like that really hurts his window to be aggressive, though.
Well, no, I think that's as soon as he could have gotten Stim in this case, because he was focusing on getting some starport tech, and he did want to get the Hellions out. Obviously, with these Hellions, he does want to be careful about Ling surrounds, since the Reapers, normally you combo them with the Hellions at this phase of the game. By the way, the Liberator is going to come around here now, and this is clearly par for the course in this matchup.
Yeah, it's just going to be a bit of a combination attack here. He's going to use the Liberator to harass. The Hellions can go elsewhere when the Queens get drawn back. Now, this Spore Crawler's well placed, and he can't do any Nathanias tricks here with only one Liberator at the back here. So that Spore will have to be repositioned. The Queens do not want to get into that zone. Nearly losing a Queen there. Loses
one drone.
He needs to move that Liberator, though.
Losing my breath there. And now the Hellions come up. soO with a good spread of Lings, though.
But notice how far behind ByuN was in supply and how quickly he's caught up, because a lot of drones are losing mining, is forcing soO to multitask, and soO has also been waiting for that Spire to finish. It's now finished. They can make about 8 mutas here right
Wolf
to start.
Schroeder, you beat me too. I was going to say this. He's going to have a lot of mutas. He might be able to get the combat shields when that starts coming next here.
Now, the Spire is well placed. He hasn't scouted that. He did scan for it at the natural. He's not going to find it. I think it's time to start adding some turrets, though, because he doesn't know what's coming. Okay, there they go. First turret's coming up. He should realize at this point that mutas are going to be on the way, and they will push this Liberator away for good. Now, when that armory finishes, he's going to have Hellbats, Stim, and +1/1 will be coming along very soon, so he might actually just try to push to do damage.
Okay, the Liberator does go down. Bit off on the timing for Zerg there, because that was going to happen. The absence of any other Zerg units there when he was poking in should have indicated to him that mutas will be there. The Liberator would not stand a chance. He should have regrouped that with his army, but let's not be too critical here as a push is coming that's already pretty scary. Right now, ByuN and soO dead even in supply.
No Baneling Nest. Baneling Nest isn't finished. It's only halfway done. He's going to have to rely on mutas and lings to hold this push, just like last game. He's got a much better chance of it this time, but I feel like...
Oh, man, with these Hellbats here, this is pretty scary.
Yeah, and now here comes the Mulas trying to buy him anytime he can.
And you know what?
If
he gets over the third base here, I mean, he can take out the Evo chambers, he can get the drones. There's a lot. And in fact, with the way these buildings are set up, I don't even think Ling's can attack him here,
He's
man.
not even moving his drones, Tasteless. This is a terrible situation for soO. I think this might actually just be too much.
Are you serious?
He skipped the Baneling Nest twice in a row. ByuN might have been studying him. He's like, I see you on the ladder. You know it was me.
I think soO just got downloaded by ByuN.
Yeah.
And the second wave of reinforcements should be coming here. And actually, with the army relocated on the ramp, he just puts 3 Hellbats there. And nothing is going to be getting down here with any efficiency.
That's definitely the case. Look at that. Not even cleaning this army up until the mutas come down.
I think he's got just barely enough mutas to hold this off.
But look at the worker count. 58 to 44, and it's going to be less than 44 in a second if he doesn't move these drones. Okay, it looks like he escapes unscathed there. But ByuN has 2-2 on the way. He has 3 bases, and he's got another follow-up bio push ready to go. This base isn't mining. 25 drones died. This lack of the Baneling Nest is a hole in soO's playstyle that ByuN has identified.
Whoop, gotta be careful. ByuN knows he's got just a little bit of an edge here.
He can't make
keeping
drones.
The pressure on.
Yeah, he can't make drones while this is happening.
Can you check on your PC? The Baneling Nest did finish, right?
It did. He's got 6 on the way, but that's all he's got. He doesn't have a single Baneling on the map.
I knew he was making that. I thought he might have canceled just for a split second to get more Lings because he was panicking about the attack, but he does have Banelings coming here. So ByuN, it's quite possible he's overextending here. The mutas can stay in the back and chisel off bits of the Terran army as the push comes. This is quite a big map. So remember, it can be pretty arduous for Terran to push all the way across it.
All right, well, he's up against one of the best Zergs at control in the game. He's targeting down the Banes first, though.
Don't overextend, though. ByuN coming out. Now he's backing up.
Into Widow Mines. A lot of those units get targeted down, but this is still going to be a better trade for soO.
This is what I was worried about. I think it was not enough to warrant him doing the second push. I think he probably should have just started powering up and waiting, or he should have had more reinforcements come with that initial attack and backed off a little bit.
Now there's a huge Mulas count. That was something that soO never lost. No matter what happened in this game, his Mulas count has stayed high. And it looks like ByuN's going to ignore the Mulas, use only rallied units to defend and attack this base. Now, soO has never gotten a 4th, and in Legacy of the Void, getting a 4th is even more important than it was in Heart of the Swarm because your base is starting to mine out. His main is getting low.
Yeah, and Terran gets a 3rd much more easily here in Legacy. So, a strong number of units staying back to defend, but that does mean those...
Oh, there's Banelings!
Oh!
He didn't get it. He's got to be careful.
Uh-oh.
There's another Widow Mine. Keep close eye on these 2 other Widow Mines. Oh my God!
I sound like I'm a lawnmower you're trying to start up. I'm like,
This is still too much Zerg, though. I don't think he can commit here. He does not have enough. He does not have enough to go up that ramp, up into the creep, into the speed banes, even with 2 Liberators here. This could be a mistake. This could be another overextension.
Well, he's got to be careful. The Overseer has identified the location of that Widow Mine. And he's going to try to come up here onto the upside, get a better angle, and he's doing that right now. Liberator's coming back right now. We don't know the HP on these mutas. No, it's definitely enough to be fine.
He will survive this. But again, ByuN trades okay. I wouldn't say that was a good trade at all, but I would say it's 2 upgrades to +1 Carapace just finished for Banelings and Lings. The next push is coming. 2 to upgrade advantage. If he actually waited, I think this could have been so much more powerful. Now he's got a Thor, and it's pure Marine. It's like I'm watching Marine King 2.0 right now in Legacy of the Void.
And he's got a lot of Liberators, which is a pretty big threat to the Mutalisks, especially accompanied by the Widow Mines.
And 1 Thor.
And the Marines here. So yeah, a lot of this is going to come down to proper Baneling connections, avoiding the Widow Mines and the Liberators preempting their strike.
All right, here we go.
This is a good spot to attack here.
Okay, now the Thor and those Liberators are going to destroy the Mutalisks, but there's enough on the ground to survive the attack.
Okay, now this is really interesting. There's actually a lot to talk about here because Zerg survived that attack, but I mean, all the Mutalisks were picked off. There's only 3 mutas, and I didn't actually see what the initial number was, but it was quite high.
It was at least 12, I would say. Now he's got 3 left.
And this will make the next push actually a bit stronger.
He's going to have 6 Banelings when this next wave hits. It looks like he's actually, instead of attacking, going to clear that Overlord first. This is stressing me out, Tasis. soO's life is on the line here. ByuN scans, he says, okay, no 4th base here. So he knows it's on, well, he knows there's no 5th base there because he just saw the 4th. But he's got a strong push here. soO needs more Banelings, and he's out of money. He's barely able to afford 2 Banelings at a time here. All right, here we go.
He's got a decent position. Mutas have been replenished, though. There's 11 now, and plenty more Banelings are morphing. 24 more Lings are on the way. Kind of an odd image here, long-distance mining, and he now moves that command center to that location. Oh, good position here by ByuN on the high ground. This is going to be very difficult for Zerg to engage with.
It's going to make the Banelings are going to be totally worth this.
That is really sexy. I love that. And now, hold on. He's got his reinforcements on the wrong side. They're up here. This is not going to be much easier now for ByuN.
No, it's not. I don't think he has enough to deal with these Mutalisks, but he's got more reinforcements coming in. Remember, he's got 2 upgrades on these Marines, but it's not enough. He has to turn around.
I think this is the tipping point in this game. I think ByuN has overextended too many times. I think a simple counterattack by Zerg just swallows up the space that we have over here.
Now he's about to have 3-3.
seems to know that.
He's about to have 3-3.
That's true. Very true.
But it's still so much Zerg. This is a crazy game because it's like this basically ByuN's trickling army versus soO's powerless army. The upgrades are better. He trades well, but he's running out of steam. He has to hold on to this 4th base. And I feel like waiting until he's maxed now because he's going to have that upgrade advantage is probably the best course of action. Oh, he's moving this Thor out right when the Mutas come in. That's unfortunate.
Mutas come in here ideally to pull back some of the Terran's army, and that's been effective. soO rapidly growing. He is taking a 5th base now, and what better time to take it? He's going to be mining out the remainder of his main very soon, so he can just swap the drones in his main over to that 5th base, as it will be finishing shortly. Looks like ByuN at the same time gearing up for another counterattack. Yeah. And with ByuN's army kind of split down the middle here as far as defense to offense goes, he's got to be careful.
Now, one thing that finally happened in this game was soO was able to sit down and make some Banelings. He's got 19 Banelings on the map now. He's feeling a lot safer than before. So this attack should be his easiest one to hold yet, even with the 3-3 upgrades. I feel like ByuN needs to micro like a god, better than a god, Tasteless, I think, and hold this attack. I don't think he can do it.
Well, hold that thought, actually. You know,
here comes the second
barely
wave.
put this up, and he has more Widow Mines in the back here.
Yep. Let's see. This is 3-3 Terran versus 1-2 Zerg, and that's not enough.
You know what? He had some of that army pulled down there, and that really allowed the Marines to optimize the damage. He takes the rest of these Marines. Oh, and the Thor comes down here.
And this is soO's most important mining base. This base is not mining. He just transferred his drones there. You can actually kill this hatchery, though, and more reinforcements are coming across. soO does not have enough money for upgrades. He doesn't have enough money to get his Lings better upgrade. He doesn't have enough money for high.
He's got about 10 seconds to attack into this. Actually, 10 seconds was a little bit too much even for me to say. He's going to lose his hatchery, I think.
It's gone, but he has another
to
base.
engage us. He's just going to lose this.
He's just going to lose it.
That's it. Yeah, he's going to sack it in the hopes to have a stronger army later on. Man, ByuN, this guy is pretty sick.
He's not playing like everybody else either. He kind of has his own way of doing things.
He's just engaging over and over. It kind of reminds me of like Flash in a TVZ.
Yeah.
Or the innovation we used to know in Heart of the Swarm.
Or even like the Polt of like super old days. All right, here comes the attack at this base. And with all these Mutalisks out of position, he can kill this planetary, but it may cost him the game as no Mutalisks are here. There's a huge, great setup for ByuN as well. At this base, he's got his Marines pre-split. The Banelings are trapped, and he gets this base for free. I don't think the Mulists are ever going to be able to equal what this has done. Oh, that line of drones!
Oh my God, it's a massacre
That's
over
game
here.
over. That's it.
I think it's going to be really difficult for soO to actually recover from this.
He didn't even get the base.
Yeah, there it is.
ByuN wins
GG.
2-0. He takes it
man.
2-0.
What
Oh
a
my God.
weird start to the SSL. Crazy, man.
Crazy games. 2 upsets. 2 SK2 players are out. 1 of our 3 Terrans are out. And ByuN, in his first game back in years, defeats soO and moves to the round of 8. What a great tournament start this has been already. ByuN running across the stage. He is by far the fan favorite in the studio tonight.
The old are being dethroned by the new here. The guys who are the very best in Heart of the Swarm may be obsolete.
All right, let's see what ByuN has to say here.
Tell me, Wolf.
승리하시고 기쁘셔가지고 저기서부터 막
So you won. Don't you
지금 소감이
feel great?
어떠세요?
Aren't you happy? How do you feel?
좋아요.
Oh, he's so emotional. This is such an important moment in his career.
팬들하고 가까이서 보는 건 정말 오랜만이시죠.
네.
그런 만큼 팬들이
It's been a
화내는 거 정말
really long time since
어색했어요.
you've been sitting close to the fans in a studio like this.
오늘 처음 왔는데 너무 좋아요.
It's my first time in the Nexon Arena.
적응하는데 힘드시진 않으셨나요?
It's a great arena to play in.
거기 그 부스 안에 제가 집에서 쓰는 모니터가 있더라고요.
네.
He said he's actually using the same monitor in the booth that he brought from
받았어요.
home, the same one that he uses at
예선전
home.
때는 사실 변현우 선수가
So it felt like home.
몸이 안
Oh, I
좋은
love that. I love that.
들어서 예선전이 끝나고 많은 팬분들도 걱정을 하셨잖아요.
네.
So all the fans are really
몸은
worried.
어떠세요?
더 안 좋아졌어요.
경기력은 더 좋아지신 것 같아요.
아니에요.
And a lot of fans are worried about his health.
알 텐데 저 오늘
After the
경기력이 너무
qualifiers, he
안
looked really sick.
좋아가지고
He said he's not feeling very well today.
여기
But he was still able to perform
지금
well.
You must be feeling
야유가
pretty sick.
That's right, tasteless.
환상적이었어요 경기력이.
아 근데 진짜 게임할 때랑 이제 부스 밖에서 볼 때랑 너무 달라요.
네, 다른
It's
사람
so different when
같아요.
you're playing
게임할
in the
때는
booth.
그냥 거침없이 그냥
when you play at home.
I got a story after this, by the way.
원래
But go
이런
ahead.
성격이 아니었는데
네.
You're a very aggressive player in the game, but in real life, you're such a quiet person.
어떻게?
강아지 종이 어떻게 되나요?
제페니스 친이라고
네.
많이 부르실 거예요.
들어는 봤어요.
네,
He's talking about his puppy.
성격이 어떤
That he
거요?
once brought to the
Yeah, you
studio.
can find that on YouTube.
Yeah,
그냥
look up ByuN's puppy.
ByuN's puppy. Not now, though.
아 그럼요. 아 정말 가장
He
큰
misses his puppy.
칭찬입니다. 강아지에게 강아지 같다라고 하는 게 뭐 잘못된 건
그럼요.
아니잖아요.
오늘 또 가장 테란다운 모습을 보여주셨잖아요.
네.
아니 저 오늘 경기력이 너무 만족을 못해가지고
아 그래요?
네.
어떤
He's
부분이
not
그렇게
satisfied with his Terran play tonight.
불만족스러우셨나요?
솔직히 1경기는
Honestly, in the first game,
잘했는데
I did well, but
근데
in the second game,
이 경기에서 이게 이렇게 올 경기가 아니었는데
Sue's hearing this
he
like,
didn't
oh
think
my
it was going to turn out
God.
that way.
했을 때 완전 이득 보고 두 번째 가면 야 끝나겠다 딱 인터뷰
The second time he attacked, he thought the game was going to end.
했는데 갑자기 상황이 이상해져가지고
But the situation got weird.
마지막에 갔을 때 좀
But the last
확신을
time I
못 하고
attacked,
왔어요 그 러시를. 근데 눌러보니까 저글링을 업그레이드가 2일업이더라고요.
he looked and saw the upgrades were better for
그래서
him.
와
Kanaz teasing him.
이겼다 딱 생각했어요.
So he's just like, oh.
That'll mess with the receptor at the
변현우
bottom of the
선수의
mic if you ever get on
인터뷰는
that.
뭐 항상
So
알 수
he's basically
없어요.
saying like as soon as he saw the upgrades, that's when he really knew he could win the
실제로
game.
온라인에서는 뭐 이미 최고의 테란이라고 명성이 자자한데
Online, everyone's saying you're the best
오프라인
Terran.
부스 안에 들어가서 정말 오랜만에 경기를 해보셨던 것
Everyone wanted to
같은데
see like you coming to the booth for the
어떻던가요?
first time.
제가 한 2년 3개월 만에 부스에서 게임을 한 건데 전 그래도 온라인용 같아요 아직.
와 아직까지는 온라인용이에요?
도저히
It's been
적응할 수
about
없어요.
2 years and 3 months
뭐
since
저희
he played
부스에
in the
뭐 마음에
booth.
안 드는 건 없는
그게 아니라
거죠? 네.
But he still feels more
좋은데
comfortable playing online. He has to get used to it.
적응할수록 변현우 선수가 과연 어떤 경기력을 더 보여줄 수 있을지 기대가 됩니다. 사실 변현우 선수가
So everyone
팬들에게
wants
아직까지
to
많은
look forward
정보가
and seeing
없기
how
때문에
well you're going
궁금한
to
점이
do
굉장히 많으신 것
when you're
같아요.
more used to the booth.
소O0506군님께서 네일랑 마루랑 세라스페아랑
So
어떤
a
맵이
question
더
from one of the
편하냐고
fans.
물어보시더라고요.
무슨 종족전 아니면 그
어떤 종족전에서 어떤 맵이 편하신가요?
렐리랑 마루는 테란이 별로 안 좋은 것 같아요.
Yeah,
세라스페어가 그나마 낫죠.
he's talking about he doesn't think Terran's very
솔직히
good on the maps,
세라스페어도
I
안
believe.
좋은데
I don't know the Korean
어쩔
name
수
of the map he's
없어서 하는
talking
거예요
about.
그냥 맵이 있으니까.
He said it doesn't really matter. Like the Terran's not good on that
이
map.
선수 다음 인터뷰가 저는 너무 기다려지는데요.
그러니까요. 예상할 수가 없어요.
자, 이제 신이범 선수하고 경기를 하게 되셨어요. 8강에서.
So you're going to be playing against Ragnarok.
신이범 선수.
네.
아, 네.
모르셨어요?
And Kanada's like, you didn't know?
알았는데 모른 척한 거예요.
아니, 이 친구
네.
He
어떤
said
코드인지 알
he
것
said he knew
같아요.
it was Ragnarok,
아니,
but he was just
왜
pretending
이제
like he
나온
didn't.
거죠?
네.
8강 어떠신가요? 신이범 선수의 경기.
So what do you think about the round of 8 versus
어윤수
Ragnarok?
선수보다 아니 신이범 선수보다는 어윤수 선수가 더 잘한다고 생각하기 때문에.
He says he thinks Su's better than Ragnarok, so
근데 솔직히 상대 실력은 상관없고 제가 부스에 적응을 하냐 그거 중요한 것 같아요.
he
저는.
says the most important thing for him is actually how his fear of the booth and not actually his fear of Ragnarok.
금방
He thinks
적응하실
Su's a
것
better
같아요.
player.
근데 이게 적응이 제가 부스 안에서 한 200 경기를 했어요 벌써.
네.
근데
He said he's actually played like
안 돼요.
230
적응이 안
games in
돼요.
booths already, but he still feels nervous.
어떤 느낌인지 알 것 같아요. 저는 10년 동안 적응을 못했거든요. 그래서
So he says he hasn't done it since
좀 더
2013. He
하시면 네,
understands.
그나마 더
Kanada also hasn't played in the
좋아지는.
booth in a long
아니 뭐
time.
주무셔도 되고요. 좀 묵으셔도 됩니다. 항상 열려 있으니까요. 네, 문의
변현우
많이
선수의
주세요.
빠른 적응을 위해서 저희가 물신양면으로 돕도록 하겠습니다. 다시 한번 8강 진출 축하드립니다. 마지막으로
So everyone's
팬들께
going to
한번
congratulate him one more
해주시죠.
time. The big fan favorite, the
제가
upsetter.
한국에서
He's asking. You can
이미
say one more thing to
중국에서는
his
공식전
fans.
치렀는데 한국에서는 이게 2년 3개월 만에
So he
공식전
played
첫
one official match in
공식전이에요.
China,
네.
but this is the
근데
first time
아직도
playing in
저를
Korea.
2년 동안
He's very happy he won his first match.
감독했는데 아직도 저를 잊지 않으시고 있으신 팬들분들 너무
He's
감사드리고
thanking his fans that remember him from so long ago and didn't forget him,
화이팅.
even though he wasn't playing. And he says fighting.
네, 여러분 변현우 선수였습니다. 다시 한번 8강 진출 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
Wow, what a cool interview.
I love
네,
that.
이렇게 2016
I
스타리그
love
시즌
that little
개막전
bit
경기
that he brought
모두
his own monitor.
보내드렸습니다.
You know, he used to bring his own computer chair to tournaments.
Is that you, Tasteless?
No, it was my brother Day 9. He would put his computer chair in a car and we'd drive like 10 hours to a tournament, right? And these admins would be looking at him like, who's this goddamn kid who's rolling up here with his own computer chair? This guy's a freak. And then he'd wreck everybody in the tournament. It's like, oh,
It's so important.
make it as much like home as possible.
Now, our next match between these two will be between Ragnarok and ByuN. And we will have matches every Thursday, by the way, guys. So
That's not going to be next Thursday.
no, next Thursday is going to be ByuN versus Trust and Sulky versus soO for a ZBZ. We have the same time, the same place on the 14th. So if you're in Korea, come down to the Nexon Arena. It's very close to Shinonyeon Station, very close to Gangnam Station, easy to find. And we'll be here again casting it.
That's right. Also, I want to say very, very grateful to SPO for bringing me down here. My first time working in the Nexon Arena, my first time doing anything for SPO. So this has been a lot of fun. Also great to work with you as always, Wolf.
Absolutely, Tasteless. It's been a great cast. I really enjoyed it.
It's been a very interesting day. I've been casting for so long. You look at a day like today as a caster, you think, oh, okay, well, it's probably going to be two very one-sided best of threes. I hope, I can make it entertaining as well as informative because the stories should already be sorted out, right? But
Yeah.
no, not the case today. Huge upsets. Very cool stuff.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's going to do it for our broadcast for tonight. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Have a great week.
금요일에 펼쳐지는 2016 GSL 시즌1 개막전 경기 역시 여러분의 많은 기대 부탁드리겠습니다. 지금까지 스타리그 2016 시즌1 개막전 경기 저와 함께 하셨습니다. 다음 주 이 시간에도 16강 경기로 저는 다시 찾아뵙겠습니다. 다음 주에 뵙겠습니다. 시청해주신 여러분 감사합니다.
Our empathy, but this is just the life I ordered. One step back and two steps forward. Sometimes I can't help but say we're making history.
잘하는 것 같기도 하고 못하는 것 같기도 하고 약간 애매한 느낌이에요. 지금 현재로는 제가 저그 중에서 그래도 좀 잘하는 편인 것 같아요. 성적 일단 제가 제일 높으니까. 저도 열심히 안 하는 거 아니거든요. 많은 영광들을 누리셨는데 저도 이제 한번 해볼 때가 되지 않았나.
저는 자신 있거든요.
제가 더 열심히 해서 꼭 이기도록 하겠습니다.